That looks like a, see if that was one of the engineers, but let's get started and.
Yeah, we can always come back to
We
it.
still have to do the pledge. Yeah, we have, yeah. You ready? All right. I'd like to call this meeting of the Morrison City Council to order at 6:33 PM. When we have the call of the roll, please.
Bruckner. Buckwalter. Dunn.
Here.
Mahaffey.
Here.
Schlegel.
Here.
Travell.
Here.
Tickler. That's it.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It said recording.
What is it starting?
We are expecting a representative from Fair Graham to be present for the public hearing on the closeout of our spending. I'd like to go ahead and move on, and we can come back to this agenda item should they appear. I didn't see anybody sign up for public comment. Oh, excuse me though, but back to the public hearing. Everybody in this room needs to sign up on the public hearing sheet. So if you didn't on your way in, please do. All right. I don't see anyone for public comment. City officers, you have a brief written report from the chief. You have anything to add or elaborate on that, chief?
I just wanted to let everybody know, I talked to, Mr. Hunter, and he is officially retired from towing. So if we tow a car now, it'll be coming from Sterling or Clinton. He's selling his records.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
good for me.
Okay. Nathan?
Yes, we started youth wrestling. We got 40 kids in that wrestling room. It's a lot of energy in that room. So they're bouncing off the walls, so the place padded. Youth basketball also started. We have 68 between girls and boys. We have also bingo this Thursday here in this room at 6:30. And youth volleyball will start next month.
All right, thank you. We will act on the treasurer's report. Do you have anything else to add at this time? Okay, okay. Shane is here we have some questions on the blowers later in the agenda. Okay. You have anything to say before we get moving?
Only that today is Nathan's 3
Oh, that's
year
right.
anniversary, so congratulations,
3
Nathan.
years.
Thank you
Stuck
for
it out.
sticking around.
We're
Yeah.
glad you're here. Thank
3
you.
years. Yep.
All right. There are 6 items on the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove any one of those items? If not, is there a motion to approve items 1 through 6 on the consent agenda?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. It is on the floor for further questions, discussions, debate.
Just a quick comment,
Please.
the painting project. We're gonna extend that to the funding of May of this year. Chuck about it.
Yep, yes.
Are we, is this for him to still complete the list that you provided him, right?
To complete the project
Correct.
satisfactory, yes.
Okay, fine, good enough.
I have a question to piggyback on it.
Please.
So he also put,
Sit down, has the floor, or Alderman.
on that invoice or, agreement to, elongate that, time. They also put additional costs on there. Is that above and beyond what we currently owe him and that he's going to be asking for?
That's the $2,200 invoice that he already submitted that you approved pending my approval. And
Okay,
I don't believe it's
so it's not
sufficient.
additional funds.
It's
just
not additional
part of it.
funds. You have approved no additional funds beyond the project, the original project.
Thank you.
Alderman Travell, did you have a comment? Okay.
No.
Right, good.
It's hard for people to hear back here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, please remember.
You gotta use my.
Yeah, and there you go. Thank you. And they have a tendency to turn off themselves too, don't they? All right. Hearing no more discussion. It's been moved and seconded. Would you please call the roll?
Dunn,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travelt,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. There were no items removed from consent. You do see some documents starting on your page 18 regarding the wastewater treatment plant blower replacements, some engineering reports, and some commentary on top of those. Is it in position to approve?
Yes.
All right. If the council wishes their motion to approve that expenditure, we can have some further discussion.
You're looking for approval to get on the table and talk about it?
Yes,
So
thank you.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to engage the replacements for these blowers. Are there any questions about that?
yeah, the blowers, these are obviously just replacing the current blowers we have, and what do they do?
So the blower that we have. The Aeromod system that is out of the plant that does the digestion of the waste. It is run off of air. So the blowers provide the air to the tanks to do the proper mixing and. They alternate, there's 3 of them. And, well, these were not the blowers that I wanted when we built the plant and they have been a pain in the butt. Excuse me. The reason it's got brought up is because one of them pretty much destroyed itself. So we're down to 2 blowers and unfortunately we can't do one at a time because all 3 of them are at a certain level and they tie into one main airline that goes out to the plant. And these new ones sit up a little higher, so that whole line has to come up. So we can't just pick one because you've got to raise the whole thing, then the other 2 don't line
So
up.
these are the original blowers, like,
These are the original blowers that were put in,
and that's how many years old?
8.
Only 8 years old.
They're, in my opinion, they're junk.
You've had problems with them for,
The one that has destroyed itself, we've rebuilt it once.
Were they undersized, do you believe?
No, they're sized correctly.
It's just,
It's just the brand is
didn't last.
it's not a good problem. And the Kaisers that I want, they were the ones that I originally wanted, but it didn't get written into the bid process the correct way.
Mhm.
There's ways to get around certain things in the bid process on how they're written. Well, the engineers didn't write it so that I would get the Kaiser blowers.
So, do you believe these would last longer?
Oh, yeah, Kaiser, they're a reputable brand, they last for years.
Do you know approximately how many years they would last?
That I don't know, I know, but I do know that there are plants out there that have had them for 25 years and more.
Okay,
So I can't guarantee you that they're gonna make 8 years,
right.
but they should realistically make 20 years.
Were there any sort of warranties or things on these ones that are currently in place that are defective clearly?
The one, that warranty has been long, I think they had like a 3-year warranty on them, and
Okay,
so. They are well out of warranty.
So are we doing anything more than what, are we asking the blowers to do any more work than they're designed for?
No,
Okay.
no, these will be, other than the work needed, they'll be direct replacements.
Okay. And you feel these are much more higher quality than our current one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe we'll get a lot more life out of these than the current ones.
So what's happening now briefly, if you're down one blower, what happens to that?
So, from the very first week that these went online, 2 of them were leaking oil. And I reached out to the vendor and expressed my concern to him about that, and he said, that's okay, that's natural. You're gonna get a little bit of oil leakage.
From the motor?
I'm like, no, you shouldn't be getting any oil leakage, they're brand new. So over the course of the 8 years, that particular unit, I replaced the seals 3 times on one side. The other side we completely tore apart, replaced seals, O-rings, bearings. And we constantly have to check it for oil because it leaks,
And that's from day one.
and that's from day one.
And plus the pressure tanks you've had to rebuild.
And, yeah,
And-
well, not rebuild them, but we've had to
Repair.
build them. They're not pressure tanks.
Well,
They're expansion tanks, so these units, they have a tank on top and a tank on bottom. And they act as silencers and expansion tanks, so they draw air from the outside, run it through the blower, and then they discharge it into that main trunk line. I
So,
went in one day and I found the door, this enclosure has 4 doors on, one on each side, I found one of these doors 15 feet away from. Cause it had, the tank had exploded and blew the door across the room.
Good.
it's a huge-
So, and since it was under warranty, I had the vendor come, take it back to the shop and repair it, they brought it back. Well, they made a mistake in their measurements. And I didn't catch it because I wasn't around when they reinstalled it. It was about 1 inch too long, so their service tech decided to take a hammer to the end, because it's domed. He took a hammer and hit it till it was concave to make it fit around the leg that was in the way. About a year later, it cracked right where he
Yeah.
did that nice piece of work.
Yeah.
But not only that, I mean, these tanks had cracked in multiple places on all 3 units.
Okay.
They're just, I don't know if they just didn't use thick enough steel,
They're just poor.
but I think they're poor quality.
So have you, every time you've had an issue, you've said you've had to perform all this replacement and maintenance work on these units? Have you contacted the vendor and registered those complaints all throughout time? Or are we?
All that time, no, I quit calling them. Because it got to the point where they were of no help to me. And I wasn't going to call them and pay them to come do work. For the work that we could do in-house. And it just. Yeah, their customer service wasn't the best.
Mhm.
So what's an average, what would be an average cost of when you're fixing stuff? Is that like $100, $1,000?
Honestly, I don't know. I never kept track of it.
If you had to guess.
I mean. We've replaced the air relief valves on each one of them multiple times. Those alone are $500 a piece.
Okay.
You know, replacing a seal probably doesn't take, it probably isn't that expensive, but it's the time required for us to drain the oil,
Yeah.
tear it apart, put it back, put the oil in. So a seal repair could potentially cost a couple $100. But the other repairs, yeah, it might not seem like much, but we've probably got easily $10,000 in repairs on each one.
Do we have this in the budget, Brian? The funds for the.
yes, the sewer fund is sufficiently funded at this time with a pretty good balance, yes.
So you're saying we have money that we can take to pay for it, but it is not budgeted? I want to be.
No,
clear, 'cause this
it's
is
not,
outrageous.
no, it was not a budgeted expense. So towards the end of the year, I'll have a list of fund balance expenses that you've made throughout the year. So I don't get dinged in from the auditor that says that we should make these changes throughout the year. So instead of doing it every time, a month or 2 out, any of these unplanned expenses will be dealt with in that way.
I'm just gonna voice a concern because I understand the need to have these items functioning properly, you know, it's an important role that they play. I think though, hyper focusing on one brand, um. Just, I would like to see comparables, apples to apples, because almost, you know, $227,000, $227,000. Is a significant amount of money without getting, you know, estimates from different places. That just, I don't feel comfortable. But it is a need and I get that. So I'm kind of at a tipping point, you know, it's a ton of money because we're hyper focused on this one brand. We just need something that'll work and last. There's gotta be other brands out there or other estimates from companies that
There
we
are,
can
and
get.
I did get another estimate, and those units were $115,000 per unit. So you're there, you're.
Almost twice as much.
$345,000.
Are the, as we sit here tonight, are the two that are left there doing a sufficient job? I mean, this is not imminent or immediate that we need to address this without catastrophic backups, correct? Or am I incorrect?
I would say no, but I wasn't expecting this first one to go down either,
Mhm.
and it did. And it's a 6-month lead time to get these new ones. So even if it was approved tonight and ordered tomorrow, we're not gonna see these new units until sometime mid-June,
And then installation time.
and then installation time.
I mean, you work with these units every day, so do you think that they're, the two units that are left, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, are they in death throes right now? I mean,
No,
are
they're-
they like on the verge of,
I don't feel that within the next 6 months that they're gonna be an issue.
okay,
It should.
And
thank
I
you,
mean, they're not giving me any indication
right, but they might
that
be
that
like
they're
nothing
gonna,
tomorrow, we don't know,
destroy themselves.
okay, thank you.
and we all, and to Shane's credit, he did his homework on it. You don't have bids on paper in front of you except for this one. But
Mhm.
like any of us in our chosen professions, we all know what products work, what services work, what equipment works, and ones that don't, and the pricing available for each. So I think Shane's done, has made reasonable effort to make sure, you know, the bid's responsible, and we've been talking about this for some time. He brought this up to me for a while, and, reason why we kind of brought it to you now, because we're still hoping to get this a little cheaper than what's bidded or what had been quoted, but this was quoted with the new 2026 prices, and it's still about half
I
of
think
the
they'll-
next
I mean-
product.
Until Shane said, right, that the other ones were, the pricing of what
2X.
other units would be. I mean, we have no idea, this is
Sure.
not my work and trade, so that's why I think it's important for us to see all of that. That way we have something to hang our hat on a little
Sure.
bit too, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because, right now, and like, we have one thing in front of us and, you know, it's a lot of money, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of our funds for one item. So, you know, just so we have those comparables,
Sure.
I think is important.
And I wouldn't be here asking for the money to purchase these if I didn't feel that this was the better option.
Is there any salvage value once those old units are taken out? If you get anything out of them? How much do they probably not, nothing.
Scrap, that's about all you're
That's what I
gonna
say.
get.
Scrap, yeah.
It's a matter of what they weigh.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd make a motion to go ahead and make the commitment now. Because
Yeah,
Shouldn't
that's the
that take
motion
place?
that's on the floor, yeah.
And the only reason I was kind of more towards the Kaisers is because I know the reputation of the company and the product they offer.
And I appreciate.
I didn't want to get something that
Hurt to say that.
5 years down the road, we're gonna be sitting here again talking about this.
You know, I'm with Donna, I think it's
I don't mind the 226, but for me as well, I'd be like, man, that seems like a lot of money for some blowers. But there again, I have no idea. It would have been nice next time to at least bring in the comparables you did and say, hey, here's the other ones and they're more expensive or this is why, and just so we have a point of reference.
Right.
But I'm with Vern, I think we should move forward and get the ball rolling. Cause especially if it's a long lead time, you're probably talking late summer, the way contractors are nowadays.
Just something cool, but-
Yeah, and I should have mentioned that in my report too, because I had that information as well, but it just,
Yeah.
I just missed that in my report, so.
Okay. Thought comes to mind that the understanding is that competitive bidding has been waived if you do approve this. I think I'm obligated to say that, but, that's implicit in the motion.
Formal, but
I
bidding.
just wanna say I'm not against doing this, I'm just uncomfortable tonight doing it for that amount of money. That's $250,000 that we wanna pull out of a fund. And even though it has to be done, we've, as a council, not been given any comparable information. It's just been kind of dropped at this meeting, right?
Well,
That's-
it's
that's
been in
what-
my report, once again, it's been in my report several times, so this is not a surprise. And you say that repeatedly about a lot of issues that I bring to the council, and I've been talking about it for meetings, months
I
at a time.
Every single time,
Okay.
Brian, I really do, and I don't recall
Okay.
maybe one time before about repairs on it.
You gotta
It's
rely
in
on-
there.
You got a lot of expertise here.
I know.
He just came in the door and presented it with this, he's got years and years of experience. You know, so.
But if you, I mean, we can certainly put this out for formal bid if you wish. I mean, that's the council's prerogative and we work at your direction. So,
If in fact, we've got an opportunity to possibly get it lower than what it is. If, you know.
well, that was kind of the mindset in doing them all three at once too, because of inflation and installation costs. And though we're not, for sure, we're gonna get that 9% or 10% relief before the price goes up, but we're kind of on that border. So
That's what I said, that's.
I don't know if Shane's got that.
I haven't heard anything from LAI on whether or not Tyler is gonna honor the quote or not. Because they're gonna raise the prices 9%. Well, they already had.
Yeah, this bid's at the
Since you received
increase.
this, they already received
No,
it.
it
No.
reflects the increase.
Yeah, this reflects that 9% increase.
All right, I'd say let's make a move.
Further questions, discussion? All right, clerk, would you call the roll?
Dunn,
Yes,
Mahaffey,
no,
Schlegel,
Yes.
Terrell.
Yes.
Yeah. What does this mean with this? Only three yes.
That's a majority of the quorum. You have quorum, so then your majority of that quorum is
Yeah.
three
Right.
or two with the mayor's vote. So,
Not to me, okay, passes.
So we need, do we need
So it
a
passes.
motion or just?
no, you
It's
just,
already on the table.
It was already, yeah, it was already on. Rebranding starting on your page 27, some logo ideas. Grayson was kind enough to come down as well. Think we treat this as a discussion item
first,
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
okay. Would you stand up and just, you've written the process, but could you give an overview of what we did and how we went?
Can I intro?
Yeah, so we'll let city
I'll intro
administrator
real quick,
introduce you.
Grayson. So this past summer, one of my ideas after becoming city administrator, was to kind of freshen our look, our branding is what it's called. From, letterhead to city signs to park signs, everything we do, City of Morrison. And so when I did that at that time, Grayson Harmon had started her local business. She's from Morrison, and she helped MADC with their logo. And so because she's local, I thought it would be a great idea and opportunity to work with Grayson on some ideas. And so after several months of going back and forth, she came up with a lot of different ideas, and we kind of settled on these three. I then and they all have kind of, and if Grayson wants to explain her thoughts behind each of these logos, she certainly can, but it kind of shows in the brand guideline sheets. But I then set up a public survey online for people to give their input. And on page 27 of the packet, it kind of shows the three different logos and the responses we received over time. I put it out there for probably almost 3 months. Honestly, we didn't receive a lot of interest or feedback with only 123 responses, but it was pretty consistent with everybody favoring logo number 1. But I'll let Grayson say a few words. Thank you for coming, Grayson.
You want to stay here or go there?
If you could go
If you
over
could,
here.
yeah, because it will help if anybody's online and.
Todd, could you turn that mic on for me, please?
Yeah.
I guess if we want to look at logo number 1, kind of the one that everyone is liking a bit more. That one was more inspired by the buildings of downtown Morrison, the one that everyone kind of knows and sees almost every day. And so then it's also inspired by our kind of recent lamps that are around the street as well. Brian was really wanting to include that in our logo, and honestly, I think it's a fun little accent to the logo as well. It kind of gives you a starting point in your logo, as well as going down to the middle and the focal point, following the buildings to the middle. And so as you can see in the top, I've included a couple of different fonts that go with it. These are more inspired by the historical and sentimental value of Morrison, both of itself, and I feel like of what people consider it, like the more sentimental value that you feel when you live in a small town. I definitely feel that coming from Morrison. And then we also include the established date, as well as a little slogan that Brian was also wanting to include. It's more than a small town, and so it also plays on the word more, as in Morrison. So it's kind of fun that way as well. But I have a feeling a lot of people would really turn towards this one, just because like you see these buildings every day when you go downtown, whether you went to a shop or whether you're going just down to the post office or the gym, you see them going down Main Street. And so I think a lot of people like to gravitate towards that one. And I think it's also a really fun logo because of all the different details in each of the buildings that we've included, as well as the accents on the facade, as well as the cloth awnings that a lot of the buildings still have. And so I really wanted to include that as well. And so that is our primary logo. That's the big logo that you'll see, for example, on the side of trucks or on the website or on a sign that you'll see. We have the secondary logo, which is just plainly the fonts. These would be such as, these will go on your letterheads or your business cards or anything like that. So then we have the color palette as well. It's a pretty recognizable color palette overall, the red, the blue, and the hint of like almost like a off-white, more of a cream rather than a silver, which we see the silver a lot, but the cream I feel like kind of gives you more of a vintage sentimental value to it overall. And our fonts are Baskerville and then Fillmore Tide Keynote, which is both, Baskerville is a very common font that you'll find in a lot of different designs, as well as Some sort of notes too. A lot of people like to use it in books or different things like that too. So it's a pretty basic font. The Filmo type keynote is more of a decorative font that I wanted to include. It's also more of a posing to the Baskerville. Baskerville is what we call serif font. It has the lines at the bottom and the top of each of it. So the cursive and the Filmo type really helps it like contrast with each other. And then we also have branding assets. These are more of like the details that you'll see in different things that you include, whether it's your social media, your signs, all these fun different things. So these are just examples, but this is kind of what you would see in some parts of it, whether you're doing a flag or you're doing an advertisement, something like that. And then we go to the logo too. This one is the collage one. This one is more, it says your logo, but it also has a lot of the assets of Morrison in it. That's why it's kind of more fun that way. There's lots going on. The more you look, the more that you recognize from around town. This includes the horse barn and the fair, as well as the Ferris wheel. Again, the lamppost, that was one of the bigger things that we really tried to include in each of the logos. We have the newly, not newly, I guess I should say, recently renovated brick home. I think, I forget what that's called, but it was right on Lincoln Way here. It just got bought, I think. So that was recently renovated. So I wanted to include that. As well as the bottom there, we have our main street as usual with the facades and the tall lines. Then we also have our more than a small town. And so this one, I included more of a rounded font. This is called Arial Rounded and T Bold. So this is more of a rounded, pretty mono width type font that you see. And it kind of goes with the rest of the logo as well. The logo that you see is more rounded. It's not as sharp. It's kind of more fun that way. So the font does like matches that sort of style and sort of attitude that the kids on. And so then same color palette. I really wanted to try and include that color palette throughout. And then the branding assets are a little different, but they also include that lamppost a lot. A lot of them are, at least the examples I have, excuse me, have a lamppost because that's our main focal point of the logo. So including that would be a lot more fun. Just including that, like I said, and your flags on the lamppost downtown, your advertising, social media, all that stuff. And then we go to the last one here. This is a more modern logo that I kind of wanted to try. This one is I guess very, very modern compared to the more historical things that we've seen, the more sentimental things. It's also very minimalistic. As you can see, all of our branding assets include all of the buildings that are included in the primary logo. These are the 4 main ones that I included. This includes the Ann and Grist Mill. I do have a kind of a little blurb about each thing about it underneath each of the artworks. So the Ann and Grist Mill, well, this is new to me. I didn't know it was not a part of Morrison technically. Brian kind of gave me that info. But while it's not technically a part of it, it is kind of one of the most well-known landmarks throughout Morrison. So I kind of wanted to keep it just because of that aspect of it. The horse barn, I said literally the logo for the website cover there. And a lot of people do recognize it there just because of the horse barn. So I wanted to include that. We have Main Street, included in the rest of the logo as well. The facade, the architecture aspects, as well as the cloth awnings. I love the cloth awnings. I'm not sure if anyone else does, but that's on my building at Peanut Butter and Jelly. It's one of my favorite things about the building. So, and then we have the water tower. While I know this is more on the northern side of Morrison, it is actually the most commonly used symbol for small town America. And so I really wanted to include that in our little logo for at least for a minimalistic part of it as well, and for a 4th building as well. And so then for our primary logo, we do have Morrison, the established date, and the buildings on top. Our secondary is not much under that, just a line on top instead of our buildings. Our color palette, again, is the same. Our primary font is Futura. This font we call is sans serif. There's no lines or anything that make it look more historical. It's very sharp. It's very mono width. And so it's very, very modern style. And then all of our branding assets would be all of the buildings as well. But we could also include the Morrison type, anything in Futura, the different colors, anything like that. So But yeah, overall, that's kind of the explanation that I have for each of the logos, kind of how I was thinking in the thought process and the designing process overall. But yeah, if anyone else has questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
I just want to thank Grayson because she had to use her patience with me because you know me, can we tweak this? Can we do this? Can we try that? And she started all these from handwritten scratch. So very talented as well. So thank you for that, Grayson.
Thank you.
And it's cool that it was done by somebody from Morrison
You only got 123 response.
on the responses, yeah.
Yeah, good. And these will digitize well, right? And so,
Yeah, so technically these are all digitized as we.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and so whenever we decide to end, we'll digitize them, that way they are their own individual thing and that you
Okay.
can play with and reimagine what you'd like.
that's nice. Any other questions, comments?
What are you looking for from
Well, I think it's this council's discretion and authority to pick one.
We've never seen any sort of, how much is it gonna cost us to rebrand everything? As a legitimate question.
It is, Grayson was relatively, well, okay, I'll say it, very cheap for her services. I think it was less than $1,500. The reason why I was doing this now is because most, if not all of our signs need to be replaced, updated, regardless of a new logo or not. So I'm not gonna say we're gonna go out and replace every sign tomorrow with the new logo. It might be a gradual thing. But I mean, every park sign, the frames are deteriorated. You see the signs coming into town. It just depends how extensive you want to get with the signs is relative to the cost.
Well,
So,
thinking that all the vehicles have to be remarked. All of the letterhead, I mean, there's a lot. You have to do.
Yeah. Sure.
Mhm.
Vehicle decals are relatively inexpensive. We put them on
I was
ourselves.
gonna say, we do the vehicles
Uh,
ourselves, the amount of stationery, just anecdotally, I see being used is minimal.
Yeah, we do that from printing out. We don't hire a printing company to print our letterhead anymore. We do envelopes and stuff like that, but the
Yeah.
letterhead, we do off our own computers.
So I was gonna
now,
say,
printers.
it's digitized and then
I mean,
we would have guidance.
the significant
not.
cost would be in the signs for the parks and entering our community, which need to be done anyway, so.
Even though, Brian is already, like doing compensation, I'm still not done, like we still have lots to do left with this, I will more than happy to help with designing a letterhead, designing business cards, doing all that stuff, that way you guys don't have to worry about that, you just go through the printing process, whatever you'd like to do with it. Still not done.
They look good.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the significant costs will come before the council either way, especially with the signs. For sure.
I think we should go with the first one, because the Cat from Espo's also, I like it the best. I think it's good classic.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. If council's willing to act,
You want-
implementation is relatively easy.
It's up to you. It's on the agenda. If you wish to select one tonight. It's certainly on the agenda to do that. If you want more time, it's up to your discretion, your prerogative.
Yeah, we're given an opportunity to vote for sure. So this one too.
I mean, I think I posted this in October for selections.
We've had it for a while.
Mhm.
And all the
All right.
responses have been, if you look at the spreadsheet here, have been fairly consistent, so.
I mean, I personally like logo number 2 primary, but I don't like the secondary logo on number 2.
Mhm.
I like the number 1 because we incorporated the fair, which is by far our biggest event we've ever had in town. Every year. But I don't like the secondary, no offense.
No, I understand.
I don't like the secondary logo. I like the secondary logo number 1.
Right?
I like them all for different reasons, you know, I mean. Yeah, like, Alderman Dunn said, the first one is very Morrison. The second one is really fun. And the third one's really modern. I mean, they're all
Industrial.
they're all,
That's why I wish there was more than 123 responses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, I got that.
We're gonna do the colored buildings.
what's that?
We're gonna do the colored buildings, red and.
I think that's just an example of how to do that.
Yeah.
Like digitally or.
Yeah.
You don't like one,
What's that?
you don't like,
I like number 2 better than number 1. I mean, I like number 1, but I like number 2 better. I like number 3 too, though.
I do too. I like
Straight
primary
line.
number 2 and the secondary number 3. But number 1 is nice
so
too.
the secondary logo on 3, just a light. You like that, you like,
No,
no,
This,
The secondary logo on 2, yeah.
yeah.
kill the secondary.
Should be used, the secondary logo.
I mean, it's just an
Or
example,
pretty-
you don't have to necessarily use it, a secondary logo is mainly, like say it would be your profile picture for social media.
Oh, okay.
Secondary logo,
Okay.
pretty much.
So I guess as far as either of these logos, are they easy to print on all sizes of signs? Or are they gonna get reduced some of them if it's a small sign versus a big sign?
So that's where your secondary logo would come into place as well. Say you're printing on a pen, that would be where your secondary logo comes into play. But say you're printing on a truck, that would be your big primary logo,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
It does depend on where you're printing,
Okay.
yes.
We're just primarily looking at signage, right? Either sign,
Yeah.
side of the vehicle, side.
it'll be a little bit of everything before it's all said and done.
We don't do pens.
Once in a while, we do a promotional thing.
There's some
for a
pencils
job
flying
fair
around, yeah.
Or some
But,
stuff here or there, but no, we don't do a lot of that. The primary stuff that we print are, well, yeah, vehicle signs, letterhead, business cards.
So are you saying number 2 for 1?
I like number 2 primary,
And there's some opinion
but I can be
on,
persuaded by number 1.
Okay.
I can talk on that.
you're the
Wait.
persuader. No.
Morrison, Illinois has had a lot of, that has some more interest in tourism. Like, do you guys remember when somebody posted on Facebook that their friend had just like, but told them to come visit Morrison for the day? Like, we would visit Leclerc, and then they talked about how lovely our town was. So I feel like that has been getting bigger lately, and I think that the first one kind of embodies that a little bit more, the touristy, like cutesy town, than maybe the second one does. If we want to monopolize on that more.
Like I said before, I like them all too, but 2 is a lot.
Busy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's why that's why I was asking, like, when you get smaller signage, does some of that get washed out?
Yeah.
Right.
Versus, I like if you're rolling into town and you see a sign, it's Morrison, or it's,
Right.
instead of, if you're putting too much stuff in there, does they all get close together, I guess?
I see how that could look really good on a big sign, but yeah, maybe not as much on the
Yeah.
smaller signs because of how busy it is.
Wouldn't be your, like she said, wouldn't be your icon on social media or anything. Or whatever you call that.
Did your secondary logo on the first one be the Ferris wheel or the horse farm? So probably not, because the secondary logo number would have to, would have to relate to your first primary.
Another one all the way.
It's kind of busy.
I don't know, just even enlarging it on the computer. You know,
I mean, I like them.
number one kind of is
I
crisper.
don't. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over eating it.
Yeah.
Can the kids there keep it simple?
Yeah, I don't, I mean. some
Just don't
people
ask.
Do that, and-
Just don't ask
Agreed.
Alderman Schlegel for color.
yeah, I'm not good with color with it.
Hmm. All right,
This- to keep it-
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid, you want to emphasize in the
Yeah.
first part. and
Yeah.
the Second part is kind of. Keep it simple, stupid.
Do you want us to vote on it?
it's the
Up to
council's,
you.
yeah, does the council wish to take another session? 2 weeks to think about it? Is there a motion, does somebody wish to approve and have us proceed with a design?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve design number one.
Yeah.
Is there, all right, it's been moved and seconded to approve and implement design number one. Any further discussion?
Yeah, another question, with the people surveying, has there anybody been lately voting on it or?
Well, I took it off the end of December.
End of the year?
Oh, it's in the-
Yeah, and you can't, and only one per I don't know, if it's IP address.
ISP or,
Oh,
IP address, so it's not like somebody went on there 100 times and voted for the same one.
right.
All meet. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
They were all
Were
separate.
there any comments? That was my,
Doesn't,
didn't take comments.
I know better than that, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, come on.
We did not allow comments.
I read every survey comment 2 years ago.
Everything's.
I do have a question for, Grayson. The more than a small town logo number one, will that get washed out on certain things or no?
I mean, it might definitely, but we can add it to the secondary logo as well, or that could be a branding asset too. So if you, yeah, if you look at.
Like the script in the middle at the bottom there, yeah. I like that script.
I like that banner. The banner looks good.
Okay. Any further discussion?
The banner we have up now, you can't even read the thing.
Well, the,
Is that the ones that are up now?
the winter ones are up
On
now.
the poles now.
The winter banners are on the
You
poles now.
can't even read them.
They didn't age well, did they?
Whenever they're wet, they're unreadable.
Really?
Can't drive me down the street, you can't read them.
You're talking about the banner?
Yep,
You can't read the banner?
the hanging banners, when they're wet, you can't read them.
Or the wet,
Can't read. Are we sticking with this,
I think she knows.
this color then?
I think, so. I mean, that's up
I
to you
like-
guys.
yeah.
I think so.
So first color,
All of them.
Use all of them.
yeah, but we don't use all, we just use one now.
Yeah.
That's brown.
All right.
Are we doing voice?
No, because we're not asking to spend any money. We're gonna implement, and then once we start buying stuff, we'll have to get approvals, but now we don't need a voice vote.
Roll call vote.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a
excuse
vote.
me, we don't need a roll call vote. Voice vote is fine. Any further questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Grayson.
Thank you, Grayson. You can stick around, but you don't have to.
The next item is strictly discussion only. This has been, it floats around from time to time, overnight parking in the commercial business district. On your page 31, we have printed the current regulation. And to basically, it is between 2:30 and 6 a.m., which is really Monday morning. do not park on Main Street. Otherwise, overnight parking is allowed except with there's more than 2 inches of snow. So, yeah, I'll ask for more comment from you.
So just, the past couple of years, just doing Main Street maintenance, is really the biggest issue, and even with enforcement. There's issues with any way you go on downtown, but in our discussions with Public Works and just through some experiences with downtown events, it's worth considering, in my opinion, for the council to consider, going back to prohibiting overnight parking, at least on Main Street. That is our main thoroughfare downtown. There's a lot of pros and cons to go either way, I understand. But it was a great intent to go to the current allowing overnight parking, but when you get into the 2 inches of snow or better, the theory is a great idea, but that's nearly impossible to enforce, because there's so many gray areas and excuses, if you will, for people to leave their cars parked on Main Street. And since we are paying a service to clean our Main Street, when you have sporadic cars parked here and there in the middle of the night, that you're trying to clean snow around, it gets not necessarily difficult, but it's just an obstacle. And then the next day, when you're trying to do other enforcing and other clearing of the snow, you still have a few that are still buried around. It's a never-ending battle for the police department, and certainly the street department. So, in talking with Public Works and with the street department especially, I said I'd bring it back to you guys for discussion and see if you guys are interested in changing it, doing
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah, I think we should eliminate overnight parking altogether on Main Street. The snow is an issue, it has been an issue. You know, it's almost impossible for Moon and his officers to get the cars moved. And the people that are parked there overnight, all they do the next morning, they just move their car to an open, a cleared out stall, and then it's left with the city or whoever's, Green Clean, or whoever's clearing the road, come back and clean it again. That's just one aspect, and then any kind of maintenance we do, there's always gonna be somebody parked up on Main Street. We have plenty of parking on the backside of the buildings, the public lot, that I think that these people can park in. These people are usually habitual people that are parked down there all the time. It's just, it just solves too much problems.
I drive through downtown almost every morning. And when people hear snow, they park on Main Street. One morning, the last snow, I painted 19 parked cars on Main Street.
And it should be the opposite with those red signs.
Yes.
I know, but it's not. Like,
Oh, I know.
When we had the big snow here a while back, the 19 cars were on Main Street.
Well, and our Main Street gets cleaned very quickly and nice.
I know.
I mean, it's probably the best of any town around, and as efficient as those guys are doing it. I used to help them a few years ago. I mean, it's amazing that it doesn't take into the next day. And then if you have to go around cars, it's just a problem.
So I just wanna throw this out there, realistically, I get it, okay, but how many snow events were there last year? So we're gonna completely cut off parking on Main Street, 365 nights a year for the potential of half a dozen snow events. I mean, I know you've been after this for a while. I'm on the other side of it, cause our residents that live down there, if you are on the north side of Main Street and live in a apartment, there is no parking unless you wanna walk, how far, 2-3 blocks. So split the difference, make no parking, if the snow is the big talking point. Make no overnight parking in December, January and February, but don't punish the people that live there the other 9 months out of the year. because of potential snow events 3 months out of the year. I just think that's an important consideration.
That's an idea too, because I think at one time
Had it been seasonal?
there might
It's
have been,
been
I know
everything.
there's some
It's
areas.
been everything.
Years,
Yeah,
you just didn't park down there.
yeah, I know there were some streets, I don't know if it's downtown, that you couldn't park there just November through March.
And I mean,
I remember
realistically,
those.
we have people that are that are helping the city through tourism with rentals on the north side of the street, more than one. And so that's gonna impact their ability to bring tourism to Morrison. If we cut off parking there, because their guests are not gonna wanna walk 4 blocks to where are we going? Because we may have 6 snow events per year, realistically, of 2 inches or more snow. Cause it's been light the past few years of snow.
Yeah, but that's not the only issue here. Let's go on to another issue that is it would be a never-ending battle for the police department. And that's those people that get to park on Main Street overnight, leave their car there all day long. I mean, just for curiosity, I watched a car, it didn't move for 4 or 5 days because it had garbage stuck underneath it, so I was able to watch it. And
Then our
so-
ordinance officer needs to go ticket.
Right,
those
but,
people.
right,
No.
then that's the game that's played.
Yeah.
I've played that game for a lot of years, and I hate to say it, but our police department has better things to do.
Right, and I agree with you, but we have an
But-
ordinance officer now. Who
Right,
can go
That-
write tickets.
yeah, that too, but it's not always just the city or just the police department. The community has to be a part of that too. They can't just complain about everything and expect everything to be for them when they can be part of the solution too. I think allowing people parking downtown has created a bigger problem with our local residents than it's helping our tourism and our Airbnb customers. That's just my opinion. But that's what I see, that's what I hear from people. That's what I see the police department dealing with, the street department. That's just what I see. And so it's not just, well, our code enforcement officer should do it, the police department should do it, or whatever. These people just take advantage of everything. And if you give them an inch, they take a foot. And they complain, and then you go out there to try and enforce it, and they complain about that. Well, I didn't see the signs. Well,
Well, that's poppycock, right?
exactly.
So,
But
but we
well,
have
you
a
get my
police
point.
officer, he can
Yeah.
write them tickets. They can complain all the way to the treasurer's office and pay their ticket.
Okay.
That's just what I think.
Hey, I'm all for that too. I'll write tickets. They're fun, but,
There's only one property and it's Josh's that doesn't have parking on the backside.
Do both
Or,
owners
yeah, they have an entrance out back and they have parking. So Josh is the only one I think that does not have an entrance in the backside.
Who's that?
Joshua.
I mean, still in all, I don't think it's appropriate to cut the parking off 365 days a year. And use snowfall as the talking point for that. So cut it out
They
3 months
clean
out of the year.
streets. They clean the streets too with that sweeper.
That's why we closed it Sunday night. That
Yep.
was the reason to close it off on Sunday nights, so they can go through early morning
I've seen
hours
it
of
do it
Monday
other-
or.
I've seen it do it other nights, so too.
oh, sure.
When we had talked about this before, maybe, or maybe I've read it in the notes or something. We talked about like, if we closed Main Street, maybe that just being Main Street and not even including the side roads that go off. So like, if we're talking about the north end, people having parking, if only Main Street was closed, but the side roads off were open, there would still be parking on the north side is another option. Is something to consider.
They park on the side streets, yeah.
Yeah, and then I also have seen parking become a really big issue year round on Main Street. As we've had more and more businesses open, and then like people can't get to the pharmacy because there's no parking, which is an amazing problem to have. I'm
Yeah.
really happy
Yeah.
that we have tons of new businesses opening, but I just wonder if something like this could maybe help with that a little bit. And I see it further down Main Street, right? Like the bank has to put up signs telling people they can't park there because they don't have anywhere else to park, so they park there. I just see it all the way down Main Street, and I wonder how we can help fix that.
I don't know how much of that
Farmers
really
should
is
be gone,
right
parking.
parking. I drive past every single morning and there's like you can look either way off Cherry Street, and there's just a couple cars there from overnight parking. Otherwise, it's clear. You'd have the congestion when the business is open, which you're right, it's a good problem to have, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think prohibiting, this is my opinion, prohibiting overnight parking is gonna alleviate any of that whatsoever. And again, I don't think it's right to impede any residents down there 365 days a year over a potential of half a dozen snow events.
The pharmacy is moving in March.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I just don't think that's the only place it's happening, but
That'll alleviate.
maybe a little, yeah.
A big problem is we have stores that have their employees parking on Main Street.
and that's where it
I mean,
needs.
I'll group on with Sedana if we just want to do the winter months for now. And then revisit the summer months or revisit some other areas.
Mhm.
Maybe if we discourage them through the winter, because these people use this, they'll
Mhm.
park there. And then the business owners come in, they park where they're not supposed to, or in front of somebody else's business. They don't walk around to the PL either, and it's it's a compounding event that can't get anywhere, and the people that are parked out front are the people that own the business, or vice versa, or they're right down the street or in some area.
For sure, I've seen that an ongoing issue too, but that's where, our ordinance officer comes in, you know, that's where our code
He's busy.
enforcement comes in. Oh, but you know,
20 hours.
listen, he only is gonna have to write some tickets, and word's gonna get out that people are like, oh,
Okay,
huh?
hopefully they pay.
Right, but the word will spread, like, stop it, cause it's always the same people parking in these same spots that work in those same businesses.
Or live there.
Mhm.
No, I give them more leeway, cause they live there. I'm
Park
not,
there all day long?
I have trouble telling somebody they're not allowed to drive to park in their driveway, even though I know it's a public street. It's
But-
just conceptual to me.
Yeah, but wouldn't you
Yeah.
agree with this, that if somebody lives downtown, they accept the fact that parking is an issue, or
Yes.
that they might
Yeah,
have to walk a little bit to park? I mean, cause I travel and I go to Airbnbs and, I never get to park out the front door of any Airbnb that I go to, even in the downtown area. I mean, it's not a block, parking or walking a block is not a big deal.
I'm just using them as an example.
Yeah,
There are
no,
I'm just saying,
residents that-
I don't.
Point
say-
taken, point taken. I think we should think about some ways forward. Maybe produce a couple of scenarios, one seasonal. Would be the first one.
Yep.
One no change.
Better look at November, December, January.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
could do like the camping season, Labor Day to Memorial Day, Labor Day. Up to Memorial Day, no parking. Camping season, you can park down there.
Trailers too.
What's that?
No,
Campers too?
They fit.
okay. All right. City will commit to a couple of 2, 3 scenarios, as we would say. One no change, one with a couple of seasonals. And maybe something.
Sure.
Thinking about that snow rule or putting that off for a while as well. Okay, lively discussion. Thank you all very much for thinking about it. It, as you all know, it bubbles up from time to time. I appreciate your time and thoughts. Finally, we do have a variance for 106 Prospect Street. It's a building. Planning and zoning signed off on it. It's going to be a new building replacing building that was falling apart, is gone now. So, is there a motion to approve that variance?
Second,
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. It's on the table for discussion. Do you have any questions? I think, was this drawn out in the minutes as well? Or was it?
Yes, I
It
think
was
it's
the
in
last
planning and
meeting.
zoning.
Here we go.
Yeah, the gentleman's just tearing down an old garage. And would like to put the new one right back in its place.
And it was recommended to be
And it was
approved.
recommended, approved by the planning and zoning.
Any further questions, discussions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. My favorite part of the meeting, a motion to adjourn is always in order. Any opposed? Hearing none at 7:38, we are adjourned.
Thank you all for coming. Have a great night.
Thank God we're there.
Do you get new frames? Yeah. No? Okay.